I welcome you all to this Bible sharing. Today I'm going to share on the rapture. What is the rapture and who can be raptured? To be raptured is to be taken into the presence of God. The first instance of rapture that we have in the Bible is in Genesis 5:24. And Enoch walked with God and was not, for God took him. For Enoch to be taken, he was a man that was walking in the presence of God daily. It is the same with us today. If we are those that are walking in the light, walking in the presence of God daily, we shall be raptured. We ought to be watchful that we live not a defeated life, but to walk daily in the presence of God. That causes us to be taken into the presence of God. If we are not walking in the presence of God today, then we do not qualify to be taken into the presence of God later on. So Enoch was a man that walked in the presence of God daily, and that qualified him to be taken. In the book of Revelation chapter 12, we see the rapture of the man-child. In verse 5, it says, and she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all the nations with the rod of iron, and her child was caught up to God and to his throne. So this is the man-child who comprises the overcoming saints, those that are asleep, those that have died, and the living overcomers are those that are going to be the first fruits. So the man-child, according to Revelation chapter 12, is the stronger part of the woman, the stronger part of the church. The woman here is a symbol of the church, carrying the man-child, carrying the stronger part of the church, carrying those that are walking daily in the presence of God. And these are the ones that are going to be raptured first at the coming of the Lord Jesus Christ, at the sound of the trumpet. They shall be raptured first. In the book of Leviticus 23 verse 10, we see a type of rapture, a type of crop ripening earlier than the rest of the field, and the type of crop ripening earlier. The crop that ripened earlier than the rest of the crops was considered to be the first fruits. And the first fruits were brought into the temple, as it is stated in the book of Exodus 23:19. The first fruits of thy land thou shalt bring into the house of the Lord thy God. So in the Old Testament times, the first fruits was brought not into the barn, but into the temple of God. So this is the same thing that happens with the rapture of the believers. Those that will be raptured first will be taken into the presence of God, into the heavens, and stand before the throne of God, as it is given in Revelation chapter 12, with the man-child who is going to be taken unto God and to his throne. So this is the type of rapture that is also given in the book of Leviticus and Exodus. In the book of Revelation chapter 14, we see the rapture of the first fruits, as we see in verse 1, the lamp standing on Mount Zion, with 144,000, with the name of the Father written in their foreheads. 144,000 here is symbolic. It means a completion of completions. Otherwise, these are the first fruits, as it is given in verse 4 of the same chapter, Revelation chapter 14. These are they which were not defiled by women, for they are virgins. These are they which were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto God and to the Lamb. So clearly, Revelation 14 verse 4 states that these are the first fruits for unto God and unto the Lamb. So we are seeing here the rapture of the overcoming saints, those that are ready at the coming of the Lord Jesus Christ. Not everyone is going to be ready, but those that are going to be ready are going to be raptured first to become the bride of the Lord Jesus Christ. And it is quite a wide chapter. I will not be able to cover everything, especially the time factor, but just to state that after the rapture of the first fruits in Revelation chapter 14, in Revelation chapter 15, we see the rapture of the harvest. And these are those that have gone through the great tribulation. In verse 2, Revelation chapter 15, it says, "And I saw as it were a sea of glass with them that had gotten the victory over the beast, over his image and over his mark and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of God, and they sing the song of Moses, the servant of God, and the song of the Lamb." So this is very clear in Revelation chapter 15 that these believers that have now been raptured have gone through the great tribulation, because it talks about they've overcome the beast and his mark and his number. So that is a sign to show us that they've actually gone through the great tribulation, which also helps us to understand that the rapture of the first fruits is going to happen before the great tribulation, but the remainder of the church is going to go through the great tribulation for 3.5 years. That is very helpful, because it is going to help everyone to count if we are those that are walking in the light, as Paul says in 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 4, "But ye, brethren, you are not in darkness, that this day should come to you as a thief. You are all the children of light." I am very confident that this day, the day of the first rapture, those that are walking in the light, we shall know. If we continue to walk in the light, we shall know, because that's what Paul says. It can only come as a thief in the night to those that are not walking in the light. But if we are walking in the light, the Apostle Paul says, we shall know when the day of the first rapture has occurred, so that we can begin to count the 3.5 years of the great tribulation. It is also the time that the great tribulation transpires. So everything is going to be clear to those that walk in the light. So I hope this subject of rapture is going to help us as we continue to walk in the light, to be watchful of the events and of the times that are going to be upon us as we approach the last of the last days. Thank you, and God bless you all. Bye for now.